This is Part 2, Episode 142. Xiao Yan was expressionless upon hearing the dense, ferocious laughter of old ghost Zhaixing. His body slowly rose into the air and looked towards the black fog that spread over the sky. It was likely that such a large line-up had already attracted the attention of quite a number of factions. Based on his guess, it was likely that the area outside of the Falling Star Pavilion was already filled with the spies of other factions. There were countless number of hidden powerful factions within the Central Plains. The fight between these factions was also extremely intense. The Falling Star Pavilion had received many challenges since it was established to become one of the 4 great pavilions. However, this time around, it was undoubtedly facing its most dangerous situation in its history. If they could endure through it, the reputation of the Falling Star Pavilion would definitely soar, and toss the other 3 pavilions far behind it. If it was unable to do so, it was likely that the Falling Star Pavilion will forever disappear on this Central Plains. Old Ghost, your nonsense is really as much as it has ever been. Just attack and quickly finish them off. You have already failed a couple of times. If you end up failing again this time around, you should be clearer than anyone else just what your fate will be. The black-white Tianzuns in the sky glanced at old ghost Zhaixing and spoke faintly. Humph, your reminder is unnecessary. Hearing this, old ghost Zhaixing's face sunk as he spoke coldly. Although he spoke in this manner, a dark denseness also gradually appeared in old ghost Zhaixing's eyes. He stared at Xiao Yan, who was suspended in the mid-air, and laughed coldly. After which, he suddenly waved his hand. Wash the Falling Star Pavilion in blood. Understood. Hearing the cold cry of old ghost Zhaixing, the many experts from the Falling Star Pavilion also cried out in unison. Powerful Do Chi spluttered out. Immediately, black chains shot explosively towards the star realm from all directions while emitting waves of clang sound. Charge! A deafening murderous cry resounded over this entire place. The originally peaceful star realm swiftly became a place filled with a killing aura. Xiao Yang's figure was suspended in the mid-air. His gaze stared intently at old ghost Zhaixing. Those Hall of Soul experts scattered on their own when they had reached 100 feet from him and rushed into the star realm. Rat, this time around, the old me will definitely personally capture you back to the Hall of Soul. At that time, the old me will let you understand what it means by a fate worse than death. Old ghost Zhaixing's face was filled with a savage viciousness as he looked at Xiao Yan. His foot suddenly stomped on the empty air, and he directly charged explosively towards Xiao Yan. When old ghost Zhaixing attacked, the black-white Tianzuns exchanged gazes with each other and nodded slightly. Their feet stepped on the empty air and entered the star realm. When their footsteps landed, an ocean-like vast and mighty Do Chi slowly swept out, causing the energy of this entire world to fluctuate. Just when the black-white Tianzuns were planning on entering the star realm and engage in a massacre, a golden light rushed over. After which, it charged straight towards the both of them. A puppet that can fight against a 4-star Dozun is really rare. Leave it to me, the black-clothed black Tianzun glanced at the sky demon puppet that was charging over aggressively. A faint surprise flashed across his eyes as he spoke. It looks like the massacre can only be done by me. White Tianzun laughed in a dense manner. His body moved and he made a detour around the sky demon puppet that had rushed over. However, he had just taken a couple of steps when a delicate small figure blocked the space in front of him and laughingly spoke to him. Old man, allow me to be your opponent. White Tianzun was startled when he saw this pretty girl, who had suddenly appeared in front of him. His eyes remained indifferent, and was not the least bit affected by the latter's status or appearance. He nodded slightly and his shoulders shook. Vast and mighty aura surged out explosively and swept towards Qing Lin. Qing Lin hurriedly focused her attention when she saw that this old fellow had delivered a killing blow as his first attack. 3 black dots slowly enlarged deep within her emerald eyes. After which, they turned into 3 demonic emerald flowers that surrounded her eyes before rotating slowly. And demonic and unusual energy ripple swiftly spread. Triple jade green snake flower pupils. This white Tianzun was also an extremely experienced person. He had sensed the change in Qing Lin's eyes the moment it occurred. He was immediately startled as he exclaimed, "You have guessed correctly." Qing Lin smiled sweetly. The demonic and unusual glow within her eyes rotated rapidly. The Do Qi pressure that surged over from all directions was resolved. How unexpected. This world actually does possess such a mysterious eye. Unfortunately, you are too weak, White Tianzuan laughed faintly. His body moved and a couple of after-images appeared in the sky. He appeared in front of Qing Lin almost instantly. Vast and mighty energy gathered on his hand. After which, it grabbed towards Qing Lin. That may not be certain. Qing Lin laughed. Her delicate, seemingly boneless waist was gently twisted and her body escaped this restraint by White Tianzuan's hand and she swiftly pulled back. Humph! Seeing Qing Lin dodge, a chillness appeared within White Tianzuan's eyes. He let out a snort and rushed outwards. Bang! During the time that Bai Tianzuan and Qing Lin began to exchange blows, Xiao Yan and old ghost Jiaxing also violently collided together like meteorites. Frightening Do Qi ripples swept apart in the mid-air, shaking those surrounding mountain peak, until large mountain rocks fell continuously. At this moment, Xiao Yang and old ghost Jiaxing had completely engaged in a head-on clash. The current him had already formally advanced to a 2-star Do Zun level, after having swallowed the Do Xing bone marrow. Adding the 3 changes of the Skyfire 3 mysterious change that had been activated, Xiao Yang already possessed the qualification to battle a 5-star Do Zun head-on. He no longer need to be careful of the other party's attack like in the past. The one who felt this change of Xiao Yang most deeply was his opponent, old ghost Jiaxing. The current him felt increasingly shocked within his heart each time he exchanged blows with Xiao Yang. When he had first met Xiao Yang back then, the latter was unable to even receive a palm from him head-on. Subsequently, within a short 1 year, the person, who was an ant in his eyes back then, had already possessed the qualification and strength to fight head-on with him. It had only been a short while, but the strength of this brat had advanced again. If this continues, it is likely that even I will not be a match for him the next time we meet. Old ghost Jiaxing's heart was shocked and furious, as he sensed this sudden improvement of Xiao Yang. This feeling to watching himself being surpassed was really not a good one. This was especially the case when this person was his opponent. He really felt that it was difficult to eat and sleep. The current Xiao Yang had clearly reached a stage where old ghost Jiaxing had difficulty eating and sleeping. A desire to kill surged within old ghost Jiaxing's heart. His palm wind also became increasingly sharp. The vast and mighty Do Qi within his body whizzed and circulated like a monstrous floodwater. Finally, it followed the veins and spluttered out. Space cracked wherever the palm wind passed. Numerous dark black spatial crack lines spread apart, appearing like a ferocious large mouth. The attacks of old ghost Jiaxing, which had suddenly become sharp, also attracted Xiao Yang's attention. His face revealed a cold smile. Although his strength had at the very most reached that of a 4-star Do Zun, after using the Skyfire 3 mysterious change, he possessed the help of the heavenly flame. This increase had caused him to no longer need to be afraid of old ghost Jiaxing. Bang bang bang. 2 figures flashed like a ghost in the mid-air. Each time they made contact, a shocking loud sound would erupt. Waves after waves of wild and violent energy storms spread out continuously, and resounded in the sky like muffled thunder. This intense battle condition caused one to be greatly speechless when looking at it. At this moment, the interior of the star realm was basically filled with murderous cries. Densely cold black fog spread over the place. The many falling star pavilion disciples were clustered together. They might not be a match for the experts of the Hall of Soul in a one-on-one match. However, when hundreds or thousands of them gathered together, even these experts were unable to gain victory within a short while. Feng Zunjia, Little Fairy Doctor, and the rest had also joined the battle at this moment. Quite a number of experts had joined this invasion by the Hall of Soul. Almost all of them were strong and vicious characters. Hence, even Feng Zunjia's group also had to put in all their effort at this moment. There were quite a number of human figures in the distant sky far from the star realm. These were some experts from the Central Plains, who had come after hearing the news as well as the spies of some factions. The Hall of Soul had always been an extremely powerful faction on the Central Plains. Each of their action would attract countless number of gazes. Moreover, the Hall of Soul did not hide this mission. Hence, it had attracted quite a number of gazes. This time around, the Falling Star Pavilion has met with a great calamity. It had actually provoked the Hall of Soul to attack it. An old man, who had some relationship with the Falling Star Pavilion, sighed softly. If the Falling Star Pavilion is destroyed, a space would be created amongst the 4 pavilions. My Flowing Cloud Pavilion might be able to grasp the opportunity to fill it. Kai, given that little strength of your Flowing Cloud Pavilion, it is likely that your faction will be annihilated the day after you become one of the 4 great pavilions. What are you saying? Are you seeking death? Humph, do you think I am afraid of you? These places were undoubtedly a complete chaos. Some of the experts or factions that had some grudge with each other would occasionally end up erupting into a fiery hot battle should they argue. However, most of the gazes were currently pausing at the Star Realm. These small conflict naturally had difficulty attracting much attention. Although these people argued, most of them had a pessimistic attitude towards the fate of the Falling Star Pavilion today. Some of the experts, who possessed some relation with Feng Zunja and Yao Lao, struggled a little before gently sighing. Given the current strength of the Falling Star Pavilion, it was unable to fight with the Hall of Soul. Even with their help, it would be of little use. Instead, they would end up being dragged into the quagmire. While everyone was feeling regretful for the fate of the Falling Star Pavilion, the finger of the old man lying with his eyes shut on the stone platform suddenly trembled slightly. The moment his finger shook, the space within the stone tower also emitted a crack and exploded, transforming into many spatial fragments. They rolled down and was destroyed. 2 human figures that were covered by vast and mighty Do Chi clusters collided violently in the sky. Frightening earth-shaking noise shot towards the cloud. Even the clouds that floated in the sky had been shaken until they scattered at this moment. No one dared to step within 1,000 feet radius of the 2. With such a terrifying Do Chi attack, it was likely that even an ordinary elite Do Zun would have difficulty blocking it. Ha ha, how enjoyable. Xiao Yan violently collided with old ghost Zhaixing. The strong and fierce force shook Xiao Yan until he pulled back by over a dozen steps. His face was also covered with a desire to battle. Due to there being too big of a gap when they battled with old ghost Zhaixing earlier, he was unable to exchange blows head-on with the other party. All he could do was to rely on his speed and agility to dodge. After which, he began to display his Do Chi attack. It was the first time this kind of bold head-on collision had occurred. Compared with Xiao Yang's loud laughter, old ghost Zhaixing's expression had become increasingly gloomy. In front of the many experts within the Hall of Soul, a Hall of Soul Tianzuan, was unable to finish of a younger generation even after such a long time. He had really lost a great amount of face. You can just try to act strong in front of the old me. The old me shall see just how many lives can the Falling Star Pavilion fork out to let you squander. Old ghost Zhaixing inhaled a deep breath of air. His tone had suddenly become sinister as he spoke. Xiao Yang's eyes took the opportunity to sweep around the interior of the Star Realm when he heard this. His heart sunk a little. Although some of the elders in the Falling Star Pavilion were still able to fight with the experts from the Hall of Soul, those ordinary disciples were no match for them. Although they relied on their large number to prevent too many deaths, there would also be occasionally some Falling Star Pavilion disciples dying from the sneak attacks by the experts from the Hall of Soul. I really cannot continue to drag this out. There is a need to finish off this old ghost quickly. Xiao Yang mused a little in his heart. After which, he slowly nodded. He quietly took out a couple of medicinal pills to recover Do Chi from his storage ring and stuffed all of them into his mouth. However, he did not immediately swallow them. After doing all these, his gaze finally turned towards old ghost Zhaixing. He let out a cold laughter and the Do Chi within his body followed a strange path and circulated rapidly. Following the circulation of his Do Chi, a dark golden light gradually appeared on Xiao Yang's right palm. At the same time, his feet stepped gently on the air and walked towards old ghost Jiaxing. Seeing Xiao Yang slowly walk over, a ferocious smile also surfaced on old ghost Jiaxing's face. Xiao Yang adopted the intention of ending this battle as soon as possible, and it was the same for him. With his eyesight, he could naturally tell that Xiao Yang was displaying a Do technique. However, he did not care. The only that Xiao Yang could frighten him with was the fire lotus that relied on the merger of 4 types of flames. Other than this, he did not think that Xiao Yang could possess any threat towards him. Even though Xiao Yan's strength could barely fight head-on with him now, he also understood that this ability to fight was something that Xiao Yang had forcefully obtained by using the secret technique. Once the secret technique reached its time limit, it would be an easy matter to kill Xiao Yang. Now, allow the old me to let you see just what is the true strength of a 5-star Do Zun. The ferocious expression on old ghost Jiaxing's face became increasingly wide. Vast and mighty Do Qi spluttered. After which, it transformed into a viscous substance. It wiggled strangely before agglomerating into a dark black ghost head blade. This large blade was extremely strange. A layer of strange dark black crystal covered it. The blade's edge gently cut through the air and a thumb-size crack line suddenly appeared. Old ghost Jiaxing's hand held the large blade tightly. His gaze was dense as he watched Xiao Yang walking over slowly. Numerous after-images were suddenly formed by the large blade. After which, it hacked down furiously from across the space. Shattering star blade. After old ghost Jiaxing's low and deep roar resounded over the place, the entire sky suddenly became dark. Countless number of stars were suspended behind old ghost Jiaxing. After which, they transformed into numerous small rays of light that gathered onto the large blade. Following the gathering of these rays of light, the energy on the large blade also became increasingly frightening. Die. Old ghost Jiaxing smiled in a dense manner. The blade hacked downwards. Following the fall of this blade, the space in front of him fell apart almost instantly. Numerous spatial crack line appeared. Finally, 1,000 feet large sharp blade glow forcefully split the space in front in an incomparably overbearing manner. It transformed into a lightning that shot explosively towards Xiao Yang. Such a powerful blade glow suddenly appeared in the sky. It immediately attracted the focus of countless number of eyes. A surprised expression immediately surfaced in the eyes. Star-shattering blade. This was the greatest trump card of old ghost Jiaxing. Countless number of experts had died under this blade. However, after old ghost Jiaxing had joined the Hall of Soul, he had seldom met any expert who could cause him to once again display this greatest trump card of it. Unexpectedly, it could be currently seen in this place. Old ghost Jiaxing's star-shattering blade can be considered to be at the peak of the DI class Do techniques. Its strength is extremely shocking. There are very few Do technique of the same class that could forcefully receive this attack. That Xiao Yang is likely going to be out of luck. Some of the experts observing from outside of the Falling Star Pavilion involuntarily shook their heads when they saw this situation. Xiao Yang's eyes rippled slightly in the face of this frightening sharp blade glow that could tear the world. His slow forward-moving footsteps also paused for a moment. The dark golden light on his right palm also became increasingly dense. It is too late to think of escaping now. Seeing Xiao Yang pause his footsteps, old ghost Jiaxing thought that the former was shaken by this blade glow. He immediately laughed coldly. However, Xiao Yang acted as though he did not hear this cold laughter. His gaze focused intently on his right palm. The dark golden color at that spot had reached the limit of its brightness before an extreme deep black glow finally trembled and surfaced. With the surfacing of this black light, the bright golden glow also quickly disappeared. Instead, the black spot became increasingly large. That manner was as though the golden glow's energy was being swallowed by the black light. With the rapid expansion of the black light, Xiao Yang also sensed the Do Qi swiftly flowing out from his body. He hurriedly swallowed the medicinal pills in his mouth with a gulp. After which, he suddenly raised his head. At this moment, that 1,000 feet large blade glow was already a couple of dozen meters in front of him. The sharp wind caused tiny blood traces to appear on his skin. Consider it your honor to be able to die under the star-shattering blade of the old me. The blade glow approached. At this moment, even with Xiao Yang's fast speed, he was unable to dodge the attack. Old Ghost Jiaxing involuntarily laughed out loud when he saw this. This hateful brat would finally die in his hands today. A faint smile was slowly lifted on Xiao Yang's face when he heard Old Ghost Jiaxing's loud laughter. His hand suddenly landed heavily on the empty space in front of him. A dense cry suddenly resounded. Great Heaven Creation Palm. Bang! Xiao Yang's palm landed and the space itself basically collapsed almost instantly. A dark black light sphere that caused one's heart to feel cold swiftly spread from his palm. After which, it violently collided with the sharp blade glow. The two collided. The intense explosion that exceeded everyone's expectations did not appear. That blade glow appeared to have entered a deep bottomless black hole as it charged in. Not the slightest fluctuation was created. Even the rate at which the black light expended was not slowed. Hiss! Everyone inhaled a breath of cool air from shock upon seeing this scene. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. It was likely that few amongst those present could receive that attack of Old Ghost Jiaxing, yet that extremely powerful blade glow appeared to be without even the slightest ability to resist under that strange black light sphere. How is this possible? At this moment, everyone's head were blurry. All they could do was to repeatedly mutter in their minds. The disappearance of the blade glow also caused Old Ghost Jiaxing to be stunned. He suddenly recovered and looked at the familiar black light sphere. Those eyes of his abruptly widened as he exclaimed, Great Heaven Creation Palm. Tien Class Do Technique. How did you obtain it? Old Ghost Jiaxing had personally witnessed the Great Heaven Creation Palm at the ancient remains back then. That frightening strength was something that was deeply ingrained in his memory even until now. This kind of Tien Class Do technique, which he greatly coveted, had actually landed in Xiao Yang's hand. It's those 3 ribs. Old Ghost Jiaxing could be considered to have reacted quickly. He almost immediately recalled the 3 ribs that Xiao Yang had ripped from the skeleton that day. Clearly, if the Tien Class Do technique really did exist, it should be on those ribs. This cunning bastard. Old Ghost Jiaxing's heart was bleeding from regret. His expression became gloomy as he looked at the spreading black light sphere. His body hurriedly pulled back. You wish to escape? Xiao Yang merely laughed coldly when he saw Old Ghost Jiaxing fleeing. His hand suddenly shook and the black light sphere expansion rate suddenly increased. At the same time, an incomparable suction force surged out from within the dark black light sphere. Under this suction force, Old Ghost Jiaxing's speed immediately slowed. After which, he was shocked to see the black light sphere spreading over rapidly. The fear of death finally climbed onto his heart at this moment. He clearly understood that if he was sucked into the light sphere, it was likely that even he would die immediately. Bang bang bang. Old Ghost Jiaxing hurriedly unleashed numerous powerful Do Chi pillars at this critical moment where death approached. However, these attacks did not even create a ripple when landing on the light sphere before they strangely disappeared. This kind of endless devouring caused a helplessness to surge up Old Ghost Jiaxing's heart. Die. Xiao Yang's eyes turned chilly as he watched Old Ghost Jiaxing, who was in close proximity. The rate at which the light sphere spread suddenly increased. 9th Tianzuan sir, please save me. Old Ghost Jiaxing, who was unable to escape after using all of his abilities, finally opened his throat at this critical moment. A miserable sharp roar resounded over the sky. Xiao Yang was startled initially when he heard that sharp scream from Old Ghost Jiaxing. Immediately, his heart abruptly turned cold. The Hall of Soul actually still had some experts hidden in this place. Moreover, the status of this person was actually such that even Old Ghost Jiaxing, who was a Hall of Soul Tianzuan, had to address as Sir. Looks like the Hall of Soul has indeed come prepared. This thought flashed past Xiao Yang's heart. A fierce glint appeared in Xiao Yang's flickering eyes. Regardless of what the case was, he should kill this Old Ghost Jiaxing, who had repeatedly opposed him, before deciding on anything. A desire to kill surged within his heart. The speed at which the black light sphere spread suddenly quickened. The frightening suction force that was within close proximity shocked old ghost Jiaxing until his soul scattered. That horrified sharp cry became increasingly mournful. Trash, you have been turned into such a state by a younger generation. What face do you have to be a Tianzuan of the Hall of Soul? Just before the light sphere was about to reach old ghost Jiaxing's body, an indifferent and completely emotionless voice suddenly resounded slowly in the sky. Soon after, a crack line was swiftly formed in the space behind old ghost Jiaxing. A blue figure slowly walked out. With the appearance of this figure, the air in this entire place immediately became moist. Some faint tiny raindrops spluttered and poured downwards from the sky. This mysterious change naturally attracted Xiao Yan's attention. Immediately, his heart sank. This person was actually able to rely on his vast and mighty Do Qi to stir the change of the natural energy around him. Such a strength was really shocking. Based on Xiao Yan's guess, it was likely that this so-called ninth Tianzuan had likely reached the 7-star, or 8-star level. The indifferent voice might cause old ghost Jiaxing's face to be ashamed, but it was obvious that his life was even more important than his face. He hurriedly cried out, "Sir, save me." The blue figure glanced faintly at Xiao Yan. After which, he knitted his pale blue eyebrows. He watched the black light sphere that rapidly spread over and muttered, "It is actually a Tian-class Do technique. How envious." The blue-clothed figure swung his sleeve after uttering those words. The raindrop that scattered throughout the sky began to gather at a shocking speed. Within a short moment, it had gathered into a fast-rotating rain scene in front of old ghost Jiaxing. At the same time, his palm grabbed old ghost Jiaxing's shoulder and pulled back in a lightning-like manner. Seeing that this person wished to rescue old ghost Jiaxing, a chillness surged within Xiao Yan's eyes. The Do Qi within his body was poured out crazily, and the speed at which the black light sphere spread also increased. Within a blink of an eye, it had collided with the rain curtain. Crash! The two collided and the rain curtain immediately collapsed. Those rain droplets that permeated the sky were completely swallowed into the light sphere. The black light sphere broke through the rain curtain. Its speed increased instead of decreasing. After which, it quickly gave chase in front of old ghost Jiaxing's terrified eyes. The black light sphere directly reached old ghost Jiaxing's legs. When the black light sphere reached him, an extremely miserable scream was immediately erupted from old ghost Jiaxing's mouth. Humph! That blue figure also snorted coldly. He ignored the miserable scream of old ghost Jiaxing as he grabbed the latter's shoulder and increased the speed at which he was pulling back. The blue figure's speed increased and fled for some distance with old ghost Jiaxing. He turned around and glanced at old ghost Jiaxing's legs, only to frown a little. At this moment, old ghost Jiaxing's legs were already completely broken. The spot where it broke was as smooth as mirror. Not even the slightest blood appeared. That manner was as though the blood from both of his legs were completely swallowed by the black light sphere during the momentary contact earlier. His eyes once again turned towards old ghost Jiaxing's face. It was already as pale as snow. Even his breathing had become a little sluggish. Having lost both legs and an arm, this old ghost Jiaxing could basically be considered half-crippled. What an overbearing Tian-class Do technique. A slight solemnness drew past the blue figure's face. Immediately, he shook his head. His toes pressed on the empty air and his body pulled back rapidly. Even with his strength, he did not wish to forcefully receive the great heaven creation palm. Even if he could receive it, it would cause him some losses. This was not something that he wished to see. Even if you wish to leave, you will have to leave that old ghost behind. Xiao Yan laughed coldly when he saw the blue figure's fast speed. He suddenly clenched his hand. Vast and might Do Qi spread. That black light sphere's speed was also raised to its limit. It emitted a swoosh sound and spread with lightning-like speed. After which, it chased old ghost Jiaxing, whose shoulder was grabbed by the blue figure, with a swift lightning-like speed that one could not react fast enough. Finally, it struck the chest portion of the latter in front of his incomparably terrified eyes. A soft sound appeared. Old Ghost Jiaxing widened eyes instantly solidified. Fresh blood slowly seeped out from the corner of his mouth. His face was as shriveled as a withered tree. His life force had completely vanished in the blink of an eye. The light sphere swallowed the area below Old Ghost Jiaxing's chest, and finally ceased extending due to it having reached its limit. Finally, it slowly vanished in front of countless number of horrified gazes. The blue figure had finally stopped the moment Old Ghost Jiaxing lost his life force. After which, his gaze coldly looked at the black light sphere that swiftly disappeared. Finally, his eyes paused on Xiao Yan at the middle of the light sphere. You are indeed worthy of being a descendant of Xiao Xian. This venerable self is a little curious as to why you are able to reach the Dozun level at such an age. Could it be the bloodline of the Xiao clan, which had already long been wasted, could be used again? The blue figure looked at Xiao Yang and spoke faintly. Xiao Yang did not reply. His gaze merely glanced at the old man in front of him. The old man was wearing a blue robe. Even his hair and eyebrows were pale blue in color. Both of his eyes appeared to be emitted an endless and mighty water affinity energy, causing one to feel a little absent-minded. This blue-robed old man might appear ordinary, but Xiao Yang understood that the strength of this old fellow was not any weaker than the ancient void dragon He Qing, whom he had met back then. It is likely not due to the bloodline. It was already incredible that this kind of wasted bloodline could groom an expert like Xiao Xian. It is likely impossible to groom a second Xiao Xian. That blue-clothed old man, who was addressed by Old Ghost Jiaxing as Ninth Tianzuan, merely shook his head and muttered to himself in the face of Xiao Yang's silence. Wasted bloodline. Xiao Yang frowned slightly and felt some doubt within his heart. From the meaning of this old fellow's words, it seemed that the Xiao clan possessed a history that he was unaware of a long time ago. However, that whatever bloodline strength was something that he had never sensed even a little of during all these years. Other than relying on the flame mantra to swallow heavenly flame, the reason that he was able to reach his current level was because of the accumulation of his own effort. There was no credit for the whatever bloodline strength. It is fine if you have doubts. Someone will explain to you once you reach the Hall of Soul. Ninth Tianzuan laughed faintly after having appeared to see through Xiao Yang's doubt. He glanced at Old Ghost Jiaxing, who merely had the area above his chest remaining. After which, he slowly shook his head. A rich blue energy spread out from his palm. It subsequently wrapped around the remainder of Old Ghost Jiaxing's body, before transforming into a blue icy crystal. With a flick of his hand, the ice crystal shattered. With a bang it was blasted into countless fragments. Old Ghost Jiaxing's body also turned into dust. Although Old Ghost Jiaxing had failed in a number of missions and ought to be punished, the one who should carry out this punishment is not you. Therefore, you must take some responsibility for his death. Ninth Tianzuan's blue eyes looked at Xiao Yang and said. Xiao Yang laughed coldly. Do Qi swiftly surged within his body. The heavenly flame also began to agglomerate within it. He was prepared to use all of his strength to fight with this Ninth Tianzuan. I am aware that you possess a fire lotus that is comparable to a Qian-class Do technique. However, this is insufficient. You will not get the chance to unleash such an attack in front of this venerable self. Therefore, you should just leave with this venerable self. My mission might be to bring you back alive, but you can be considered alive as long as you have a breath left. Ninth Tianzuan gently flicked his long finger on his sleeve and spoke without expression. I don't believe it. Xiao Yang's eyes were narrowed slightly. He did indeed sense a kind of dangerous aura from Ninth Tianzuan. However, this was insufficient to get him to surrender without a fight. His shoulders immediately shook, and the green-red bone wings were extended. The wings were flapped and his body immediately pulled back explosively. Numerous after-images appeared in the sky, causing one to be dazzled. Ninth Tianzuan shook his head slowly when he saw Xiao Yang's body pulling back. The space beside him slowly became distorted, and his body disappeared in a strange fashion. The pores all over Xiao Yang's body immediately stood up when Ninth Tianzuan disappeared. However, His eyes had just blinked when he saw that blue figure was already less than 2 feet in front of him. This venerable self has said that these are useless. Ninth Tianzuan's face was still indifferent. His right hand drifted out gently and the water qi that permeated the sky gathered. Finally, it was accompanied by waves after waves of rich dark and cold energy. It rushed over towards Xiao Yan with lightning-like speed. Ninth Tianzuan's palm flew over without warning. Xiao Yan's expression swiftly became grave. The purple-brown flame hurriedly gathered on his right hand. Finally, it transformed into a meandering fire dragon that collided heavily with Ninth Tianzuan's hand. The two collided. However, there was no earth-shaking sound. Heat and dark chillness interacted. It erupted into a dense white smoke and a sizzling sound resounded continuously. Bang! This interaction did not continue for long before a deep sound resounded within the fog. Immediately, a miserable figure staggered and flew out. Finally, it smashed heavily on a mountain wall. The frightening force directly caused an arm-thick crack line to climb all over the hard mountain wall. Xiao Yan rubbed away the trace of blood from the corner of his mouth. He spat out the blood from his mouth as he looked at the blue figure in the sky with a gloomy expression. It was possible for him to put up a fight when facing old ghost Jiaxing. However, he actually did not possess the strength to retaliate in the hands of this Ninth Tianzuan. Leave with this venerable self. Ninth Tianzuan in the sky glanced at Xiao Yan. His body moved and he appeared in front of the latter. His palm was slowly extended and grabbed onto Xiao Yan's shoulders. An indifferent voice was slowly emitted. Xiao Yan stared intently at Ninth Tianzuan, who had extended his hand over. A ruthlessness flashed within his eyes. Just when he was about to unleash all his strength and risk his life to attack, a hand was extended from behind him. It calmly grabbed Ninth Tianzuan's hand. At the same time, a faint elderly voice also quietly spread from behind. You, Ninth Tianzuan alone, is really unqualified to bring him away. Part 2 end here.